Ah, my cunning companions of the twilight. What a twisted delight it is to see you all here, the creatures of the night, drawn close with eyes ablaze, curiosity sharp. Why so tense? But of course you wouldn't be here if you weren't itching for a story, a dark tale of the invisible. The underestimated, the souls who were laughed at, dismissed, written off as insignificant. Isn't it funny, though, how fate twists things around? Sometimes those nobodies become the very legends no one can ignore. And now, here you are, standing among them. Society loves to throw around labels like confetti, judging and condemning without a second glance. Nobody irrelevant, they make quick assumptions, never looking beyond the surface, completely blind to the fire simmering beneath. That's what they thought of you, a face easily forgotten, a shadow they'd dismiss without a second thought. But here's the kicker, they had no idea what was brewing within. Legends aren't born under bright lights, they rise from the shadows, in the depths where power is honed, where resilience becomes a weapon. When they thought you were fading into obscurity, you were transforming, an unseen force ready to break free. Like the ashes of a phoenix moldering long before the fire erupts, you were the blaze they never saw coming. They sneered, mocked, whispered, cast you aside as though you were a flicker easily extinguished. They turned their backs, oblivious to the storm they were fueling. With every sneer, every dismissive glance, they weren't just ignoring a nobody, they were creating a legend. You rose not by following their rules. No, legends don't emerge by bowing or by blending in. You shattered every mold, refused to shrink into their convenient little boxes. And that's what terrifies them most, something that refuses to conform, that stands unbroken in the face of their expectations. They looked at you and saw someone meek, something minor, something safe. But behind that facade was a force that could crush their illusions without even raising a hand, a mind sharper than any blade, and a soul bound by nothing. And then, oh, that delicious moment you stepped out of the shadows, not with a roar, not with a grand display, but with a quiet, relentless resolve. And that's when they froze, their hearts skipping, because suddenly they realized that the shadow they'd ignored was no shadow at all, it was the storm, the reckoning they'd never expected. Then, too late, they saw the fire they had stoked, felt the crushing weight of your presence. Now it haunts them, gnaws at them, the very memory of how they treated you. They can't stand it. The sight of the one they deemed insignificant now towering above them is a constant reminder of their blindness, a torment they can't escape. They are haunted day and night by the memory of what they tried to bury, the spirit they misjudged. While they played judge, jury, and executioner, you were becoming unstoppable, untouchable, legendary. So here you stand, a force they can't silence, a spirit they can't shackle, a legend they could never kill. And now, as you stand tall, they can feel it, the weight of their own folly. The shadow they ignored has become a haunting presence, a relentless reminder that they were blind, too busy passing judgment to see the force growing right before them. They used to look right past you, dismissing you like a mere whisper in the wind. Yet here you are, a thunderclap in their world, shattering their peace. Can you see it? Their faces pale with realization, the creeping dread in their eyes. They're haunted by the memory of their own dismissive laughter, the sound of their scoffs echoing back to them like a taunt. It's like watching them squirm under the very weight they tried to place on your shoulders, a burden they can no longer escape. Every glance, every dismissive word, every sneer, they are now shackled to those moments, held prisoner by the image of you transformed. And oh, how it burns them, like acid eating away at their pride. To know that they didn't just overlook you, they ignited you. Their mockery was the spark, their cruelty the fuel. And now, they stand beneath the fire they unwittingly unleashed, scorched by the very legend they tried to extinguish. What they deemed insignificant has now become monumental, a force that blazes far beyond their reach. You are their reckoning, the embodiment of every ignored whisper, every quiet resilience that turned into a roaring flame. While they reveled in their short-lived superiority, you were becoming timeless, turning each slight into power, each wound into armor. They can't handle it, this towering version of you, and the truth is it terrifies them. They are paralyzed by the sight of the legend they never saw coming, haunted by the realization that they created their own nightmare. Now, let them watch. Let them feel the burn of your ascent, the indomitable presence that they once cast aside. This is no simple tale of survival, it's a testament to the power they underestimated. You are the storm they never prepared for, the legend they thought was a flicker, now a blazing, unyielding force. Let them linger in their regret, swallowed by the shadow that is no longer yours. But there's a shadow that reveals every fracture in their judgments, every crack in their perception. You've become the legend that looms in their dreams, a force so undeniable, they are left to live forever with the taste of their own disregard, realizing only too late that they were the architects of their own reckoning. And as you walk away, a legend fully formed, they're left frozen, knowing that they'll never forget what they dismissed. You are the unyielding, the unstoppable, the storm that rose from their blindness. And now the world knows what they cast aside as nothing has become everything they can never forget.